Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Dear Venerable Sangha, Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, you are invited to join us in this weekly Buddhist Newsreel on Phật online channel. Hereafter, 6 major headlines of Buddhist activities of the week. General Buddhist Congress of Hanoi for tenure 2022-2027. Most Venerable Chairman of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Parochial Council anticipates Da Nang to be well developed into a city of central level. Hải Phòng, opening of nationwide conference on Buddhist ceremonial rituals. Bình Định, the General Provincial Buddhist Congress held for new tenure 2022-2027. NGAY, opening of training course on skills of abbots and Dharma sermonizers in 2022. Heaven, Blood Donation Day saves lives and practices Bodhisattva. The following are the news in details. On the morning of July 6, 2022, the Buddhist Congress of Hanoi City for the tenure 2022-2027 took place at the Vietnam Soviet Friendship Cultural Palace in Hanoi, with the witness of 2 elders, Most Venerable TIòng, acting Dharma Master of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, and Most Venerable TIionG ANH, Chairman of the Administrative Council, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha.
In witness, it was honored to have the venerables of the central section of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board of the city, the representatives of the authorities at various levels from the central to local levels, and nearly 800 monks and nuns, Buddhists in the capital. After the opening speech delivered by Most Venerable TIionG, head of the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board of Hanoi City, head of the organizing board, the Elder Most Venerable TIionG had a blessing speech. He reviewed the monastic services left behind by his predecessors, which were the teachings of the previous masters. In particular, the Most Venerable recorded teachings of his predecessors about unifying Vietnamese Buddhism and rejuvenating the leadership ranks. The Venerable Master believes in the youth for the leadership of Buddhism in Hanoi City and the wisdom and the capacity of the newly elected Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board for the tenure 2022-2027. Buddhism in Hanoi would accomplish many important Buddha works. Steering in his speech at the Congress, Most Venerable TIionG ANH, Chairman of the Administrative Council, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, congratulated the Congress and affirmed that Hanoi Buddhism has an important position in Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. Most Venerable appreciated and praised the Buddhist achievements in Hanoi, contributing to the achievements of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. The Venerable Master believed that the young leaders of the newly elected Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board under the leadership of Most Venerable TIionG would make Hanoi Buddhism develop more in the future, accomplishing many Buddhist works toward welcoming the National Buddhist Congress in November. Previously, at the preparatory session on July 5th, the Congress ratified the list of personnel, including 69 members, and Most Venerable TIionG was nominated for the head of the Hanoi City Buddhist Parochial Board of tenure 2022-2027. Swearing in his assignment, Most Venerable TIionG respectfully promised to follow the teachings of the acting Dharma Master and was instructed by the Most Venerable Chairman of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Parochial Council.
On the morning of July 7, 2022, at Phap Lâm Pagoda, headquarters of the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board, the Buddhist Congress of Da Nang City was solemnly held for the tenure 2022-2027 with the theme Discipline, Responsibility, Solidarity, and Development. Most Venerable TIionG ANH, Chairman of the Administrative Council, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, witnessed the Congress and oriented the Buddhist activities of the newly elected Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board.
Speaking at the opening ceremony, Most Venerable TIionG ANH, head of the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board, head of the organizing section, welcomed the arrival of the monastic honorifics, leaders of the authorities at all levels, and all the attendees. At the same time, the Most Venerable emphasized the meaning and importance of the Congress. After the Human Resources Subcommittee submitted the list of candidates to be introduced to the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board for the 6th tenure, the Most Venerable Chairman of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Parochial Council appreciated the personal consultation in accordance with the spirit of Circular 060 and 004 of the Central Section of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, through which the Venerable Master conducted the voting. Congress ratified the list of personnel, and Most Venerable Thích Toàn was re-elected head of the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board in Đà Nẵng City for the tenure 2022 to 2027. On behalf of the Central Section of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, the Most Venerable Chairman of the Buddhist Council praised the Đà Nẵng Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board for its monastic achievements over the past 5 years. The Most Venerable also appreciated the spirit of solidarity and harmony of the members of the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board, including the monks, nuns, and Buddhists. In particular, social charity work has reached approximately 151 billion Vietnamese dong. The Most Venerable congratulated and believed that the new members of the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board would inherit and promote their roles in the new tenure. In order to orient the newly elected Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board, the Most Venerable reminded the members to complete their personnel files and submit them to the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Parochial Council in order to welcome the National Buddhist Congress in November 2022. To praise the merits as well as recognize the positive contributions of the Buddhist monks and nuns in Đà Nẵng, the Central Section of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha awarded the accolade certificate, and the People's Committee of Đà Nẵng City awarded the certificate of merit to the group and individuals.
On the morning of July 2nd, 2022, at the Draco Thang Long Hotel, Most Venerable TIểhead of the Central Ceremonial Section of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, and other venerable honorifics chaired a conference in collaboration with the Central Section of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha and the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board of Hải Phòng City opened the National Buddhist Rituals Seminar with the theme Inheritance, Preservation and Promotion of Buddhist Ritual Traditions in the Time of Integration.
Attending the seminar were the honorifics of patrons, venerables of the Central Section of Ceremonial Rituals from central and provincial boards, and researchers, scholars, intellectuals, and Buddhists. In his opening speech, Most Venerable Thích affirmed that this conference was necessary to find a solution and a common way of Buddhist rituals despite the material development. The spiritual element had to be considered among the national's values, ethnics, and culture, which had always been preserved and promoted. The conference had 9 main topics, and the organizing board received 57 insightful papers and articles with practical scientific research in order to orient the ritual section to continue to fulfill its responsibilities in Buddhist monastic affairs. In his blessing words, Most Venerable TIểng Anh, Chairman of the Administrative Council, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, said that Vietnamese Buddhist culture is a specific spiritual culture, taking the Buddhist teachings as the focus. It has been more than 2,000 years since Buddhism was introduced into our country. Buddhist culture has penetrated deeply into customs, feelings, rituals in the Vietnamese way of life, and the rituals of Vietnamese Buddhism are also associated with that culture. Therefore, both the form and content of Vietnamese Buddhist rituals become diverse and plentiful. The Most Venerable said in his steering words that the monks should agree on the purpose and meaning of the Buddhist rituals, because it is a close and easy means of expressing the emotions to lead sentient beings to the health of enlightenment and liberation of Buddhism. On this occasion, the organizing board gave 100 million Vietnam dong to support the Fund for the Poor and 100 million Vietnam dong to support the Fund for the Seas and the Islands of the homeland. After the opening ceremony, the venerables of the ceremonial ritual section of the provinces and scholars presented their debating presentations. The organizing board would select the 10 most important papers to read at the conference.
In order to evaluate the Buddhist activities of the last tenure and plan a roadmap for the new tenure to spread the Dharma and serve human life, the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board in Bình Định Province solemnly opened the Provincial Buddhist Congress for the tenure 2022-2027 at the Provincial Convention Center on the morning of July 4th, 2022.
Speaking at the opening ceremony, Most Venerable Thích Nguyên Phước, head of the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board, believed that the Congress was successful, and the Buddhist achievements in the last tenure were attributed to the frequent guidance of the Sangha, the active support from the government at all levels, and the active contributions of monks, nuns, and Buddhists. In particular, the achievements of the Buddhist Parochial Board of districts, towns, and cities could be shown through the social charity work, which reached nearly 84 billion Vietnamese dong. At the Congress, the Central Board of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha awarded the Certificate of Accolade to a group and 5 individuals who had made positive contributions to the sustainable development of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. The Provincial People's Committee also awarded certificates of merit to 11 individuals with outstanding achievements in Buddhist work and social charity. The Congress ratified the list of 58 members and nominated Most Venerable Thích Nguyên Phước to be reappointed head of the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board for a new tenure. On behalf of the government, Mayor Nguyễn Tuấn Thành acknowledged the positive contributions of monks, nuns, and Buddhists to socio-economic development, national security and defense, and improvement of people's material and spiritual life. In his blessing words, the Most Venerable Chairman of the Administrative Council, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, affirmed that the success was thanks to the leadership experience of the Most Venerable Thích Nguyên Phước, the consensus and synergy of all members of the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board, with the enthusiastic support of the authorities at all levels, and the support of the monks, nuns, and Buddhists of Bình Định Province. The Venerable Master congratulated and believed that the 58 new members of the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board would continue to promote their roles in building a dignified and stable province Buddhism and accompanying the nation, worthy of the land of heroes. The Venerable Master reminded the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board to complete the personnel file to welcome the National Buddhist Congress in November 2022.
On the morning of June 30th, 2022, at Phật Pagoda in Rạch City, the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board in Kiên Giang Province opened a training course for abbots and trained Dharma sermonizers for nearly 200 monks and nuns and 500 typical Buddhists from pagodas in the province.
In his opening remarks, Venerable Thích Minh Nhẫn, head of the organizing committee, discussed the important meaning of abbot training course, as well as the training for Buddhist Dharma sermonizers during the Vasa Rent Retreat season. The training course for abbots and Buddhist Dharma sermonizers took place during 5 days from June 30 to July 4, with the participation of nearly 200 abbots, monks, and nuns, subordinate abbots, clerks of the Buddhist Parochial Board of districts, towns, cities of Mahayana and Theravada, and 500 typical Buddhists of the pagodas. This is an annual Buddhist activity in Kiên Giang Province in order to foster the knowledge of Buddhism and world studies, practice methods of religion, and popularize the law on belief, guidelines, and policies of the party and the state's legal regulations. Lay people and Buddhists gain a deeper understanding of Buddhist teachings and communication skills through lectures and seminars. In particular, Dharma sermonizers can compare and draw lessons to build an appropriate and feasible Dharma propaganda program for the current era in order to spread the beautiful teachings of Buddhism through the application of Dharma teachings using digital technology and social networks in Dharma propagation. Following the opening ceremony, Venerable Thích Phước Nguyên had a Dharma talk on the topic, Duty of the Abbot, and Venerable Thích Minh Ân shared the topic, Belief and Ideals of Clerical Service. During the 5-day study course, the Venerable Master sermonizers preached on the following topics: the truly man abbot, the meaning of the Dharma sermonizes, abbot with monks and nuns of Buddhist schools, qualities of a legal counselor, application of digital technology in teaching of Dharma, the role of the abbot in modern times, and the application of practice for the present Dharma sermonizes, the abbot's preaching role, right faith and superstition, the path to enlightenment and liberation. At the closing ceremony, the organizing board awarded certificates to nearly 200 monks and nuns and 500 Buddhist Dharma sermonizers who had completed the training course. Paying with blessing words, Venerable Thích Nghiêm praised the Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board for organizing a meaningful training course and praised the serious spirit of study of the abbots and Buddhists who had attended the training course. The valuable knowledge imparted the training course is a tool to help the abbots and Buddhists on the path of learning and propagating the Dharma of the world-honored Buddha.
At Khánh Sơn Pagoda, Nguyên Giao Commune, Nguyên Phủ District, Thái Bình Province, on the morning of July 5, 2022, the Provincial Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Charity Board coordinated with the Red Cross Society of Nguyên Phủ District to organize a blood donation fiesta to save life performed by practitioners on their bodhisattva path. The program was well received by hundreds of monks, nuns, and local people.
In the past 2 years, the amount of blood stored at medical facilities has been in short supply and facing scarcity due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Understanding the risk that a lack of blood supply threatened the life of the hospitalized patients, the monks and nuns who were in the retreat have taken their time, with compassion and enthusiasm, to register to donate humanitarian blood. This year's blood donation program also received the response of a large number of local people. With the meaning of a drop of blood to give, a life to stay, donating blood to save lives is a noble act, a noble gesture of each person. In Buddhism, this noble act is one of the perfection of giving, which is typified by the donation of inner gift. During the blood donation day, the estimated amount of blood collected was 400 units.
Venerable monks and nuns, Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, the last news has signed off this weekly newsreel. Thank you for your attention and following. Goodbye and see you in the next program on PSO TV channel. Namo Sakya Muni Buddha.